Welcome back to our day in the life of an online business manager. I am really, really thrilled to be interviewing the lovely Sandy Lewis. Sandy
Hi.
is an incredible online business manager who has recently become accredited and who lives in the Virgin Islands and who is quite powerhouse, if I do say so myself. Sandy, it's so funny. I'm excited to be interviewing you because I've literally been telling so many people I'm interviewing Sandy. Just wait till this interview comes out. You're going to be amazed at how she has been able to dominate a very unique niche that we are going to get into. But before we do, Sandy, I would love for you to take a minute and let us know where you're from, how you got into the OBM world, maybe even how you found OBM school.
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Sandy, and I'm from Dominica, between St. Lucia and Guadeloupe. A lot of people think it's the Dominican Republic, but it's not that one. And I migrated to the Virgin Islands when I was 10 years old with my family, and I've been there ever since. So I got into the OBM world through Virtual Savvy. I saw that you and Abby actually had an interview together, and I'm like, hey, the things that she's saying, and I do all these things already. Maybe that's the next approach for me. That's where I need to be. And right there on the spot, I start researching everything about being an OBM.
Naturally.
Yes, I literally went down the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, I love
And
that rabbit hole. Yeah.
yeah, from there, I was like, okay, perfect. This is what I'm destined to do. It just feels so natural.
So take me back to that faithful afternoon when you were in your corporate job, and you realized that you could be doing this stuff online.
It came about, my manager came to us and he's like, there are some things that's going on in the company, and we're going to have to shut down for 2 weeks to kind of get it together. And that shutdown from 2 weeks turned into 4 months. And I'm like, what am I doing? I have a family, and what are my next steps? Because every time I contacted them, it was, oh, maybe next week, maybe next week. And from there, I was like, no, let me get into this. So I started doing like researching how to make money. I'm like, I need to have freedom from this corporate industry in a sense. So when we started back, finally the 4 months was over and we started back, and my boss came to me because he wanted to add on more tasks that I was not qualified for at the time. And he paid for me to do bookkeeping at first. And it went from there. In doing the bookkeeping course, they start talking about, doing everything online and
Mm.
getting clients online. I'm like, okay, so just in case there might be a next shutdown, I have a backup plan. And I started slowly but surely every day after work, piece by piece, putting a company together. So it started off as bookkeeping.
I think that's so amazing because it's like on one hand you're like, yeah, this backup plan, but actually it sort of unlocked something quite different in you.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And from there, it's transitioned along. I feel like my company has grown with me in a sense of starting off with bookkeeping and realizing that I don't only need to do bookkeeping now. I have all these other skills. Let me add that in. And I started doing like general VA work. And that's where I met Virtual Savvy in trying to figure out, okay, how can I enhance this? How can I had the skills, but did not know how to put everything together to make the company flow. And from doing her course, I discovered you. And I'm like, okay, so Sarah is saying all these things, and that's what I've been doing for like the past 5 years consistently. These are the things I've been doing. And I'm like, okay, definitely need to do this.
I love that. I think that's so amazing because, on one hand, you have a ton of transferable skills. And I know that it was the same for me as I got more into it. I was like, oh my God, my experience from like a job I had in high school to like
Yeah.
things I did even with jobs in university to my corporate job. It's so funny because in hindsight, you look back and you're like, oh, I see all of these. Because people are like, well, what are the skills? What are the skills? I'm like, you will align with your skills when you start
Yes.
working. You'll start to feel the things that will move into
And it
place.
feels natural. Like now as an OBM, and oh my goodness, like I thought I had confidence in what I'm doing.
Right.
And going through the program, the OBM school, oh my goodness, it gave me such a boost of confidence that I walk into any place with my head held high
Yeah.
and
I love
like
that.
in charge. I feel like I could lead, you know? Whereas before I used to be hesitant, and now I know I am capable of doing it on a higher scale, a higher level.
Yes.
So thank you for that, for sure.
I thank you for that. And I think it's so interesting because you strike me as such a confident person, like from the beginning. So it's
Well, yes and no at the same time. Like, if I know something, then definitely. But now I know that even if I'm not sure of it, you could still have the confidence and have the confidence to say, you know what, I'm not quite sure, but let me do some research
Mhm.
instead of like closing in because I didn't know it. And
Yeah.
now we have better systems in place to be able to get that done.
You mentioned about your transition. So tell me what it was like when you were finishing up your VA training, you came to understand the OBM world. What was the transition like for you?
From doing VA into OBM.
Yeah. What was that transition from VA work to OBM work? Did any of your clients move over? I know that you had mentioned that you were doing a lot of OBM. We call that the OBM in disguise, where you're kind of doing the services, but maybe not getting paid for them, or maybe not feeling as much love from your client. Your client is still treating you like an assistant, even though you're doing a lot of managerial work.
Well, for me, it was an easy transition in the sense of I don't know if it's because my clients are local, it's
Mm,
a different field than when you're online, but they understood that what I was getting paid at the time to just do VA work and they kept adding on. They realized by me taking on this task that their workload and their life became easier.
mm.
So they were willing to pay more. When it came to that time, and I said, hey, I'm really thinking of doing this course, and my prices will go up because of that. And they were all for it.
Mm.
Every last one of them was for it. And now that I coming in with all these experiences and the things that I've learned and to be able to put the systems, like figure out the systems better and create better SOPs. Oh, they're loving it.
Yeah, I bet.
To them, they feel like money well spent.
Thank you, Sandy, for choosing the right thing to invest in.
Yes.
So tell me about your clients because they're local in the Virgin
Yes.
Islands, but
Mhm.
you work mostly remotely. Like, how often are you in the office? What does a day in the life of Sandy as OBM look like? And tell us about your clients because I've been like on the edge of my seat. I love your niche. It's near and dear to my heart.
So as you know, in the construction industry, which I love, I have a family of every aspect of construction. Some one of my family is in there.
Hmm.
And so it
How
came like
aligned.
naturally for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes. So my clients on a day to day, it would be where I'm just like going over the budgets with them, making sure everyone on their team has what they need to be able to build the homes. But my major thing that I do for my client, which it gives them such an ease, is I'm the liaison between them and their clients. So the homeowners, I speak to them, I go over the plans of like what kind of tiles they want to get, what does the architect think about that. I'm the liaison between them and my clients. So with that, it creates an ease for my client where they could actually go out there and get more clients, make more money without having to think of the back end. So all the operational stuff I take care of. And for me, I don't need to be on the construction sites. And that's what I love about being an OBM. Like, the beauty of it is every day is different. Like, when I wake up, I know what I have to do today, but it's in a different way where it could be I'm jumping into meetings, going, sometimes I show up on the job sites just to see the progress, to take pictures and send to the homeowners. And with that, like, my clients appreciate those little things as well. It would be where I'm just checking. Hey, I realized today I did not hear from you. It's like 12 o'clock. What's going on with this? Oh, don't forget you need to do that. And I just love it. It excites me that every day I get up and I get to help somebody make their dreams come true. And I'm not just making my clients' dreams come true, I'm also making their clients' dreams come true. And to me, that's fulfilling.
That's just, I think a really beautiful thing when you feel like you're getting so much out of what you do day to day, and that your skill set is really uplifted by your clients and by their clients. For those of you listeners, my husband is a contractor, and I was like, oh man, does he need an OBM? But we had a landscaping company a while ago when we were moving from Canada to the Middle East. We sold that business. Selling that business made it possible for us to move. So I'm not hating on that. That business was great, but I was ready to like kill my husband. So it was not easy.
I know the feeling.
So, I mean, I think it's just it's like I'm laughing because I know the type of person, like my husband, who has a contracting business, who desperately needs an OBM. And I was like, you know what, sweetheart, it's not me. We have somebody who I'm training. Also, it's not in English, so it's okay. So I was like, sorry, it's not in English. I can't help you. My Hebrew sucks. I can't help you. But I know that he needs people to keep him on task. He is really technologically not where it's at. What do you find is about the contractor niche? Like, what is it? Because you don't, I mean, aside from your family experience, you haven't been formally trained in contracting. Right?
Yeah.
How does that play into your role as an OBM? Because most would look from the outside and be like, oh, well, Sandy must have like years of experience in architecture or contracting.
None at all. None at all. So, working at a concrete plant in my corporate job, you get to see the contractors come in and they all have the same complaint. I'm tired. I don't know how to do my back end things. So the operational sides of things. Oh, I need to be able to send out this invoice. I need to send this email. I need to be able to send this estimate to the architect. And they're up at night trying to do it after having a full day of being on different job sites and managing a team. Sometimes the team is up to 70 employees on 5 different job sites, and still have to, at the end of the day, go and do paperwork after all of that. Impossible.
Literally hear my husband's voice in my head being like, I just don't have time to get to the office at the end of the day.
Yep. They all have the same complaint.
You need to put that out. That needs to be the banner on your website. If you feel like at the end of the day, you don't have enough time to get to your office to button up those loose ends, you need a Sandy on your team.
Yes, definitely.
Your business has really transformed since pivoting into that OBM role. Were you working with the contractors in the VA role as well?
Yes. So it started off with one contractor where he was willing to give me the chance. No, I was very upfront with him. This is a new thing I'm trying. Every week you come in here and you're telling me the same thing. You need help. You need help. You just don't know how to articulate the help that you need. So we went through just a list of like his day to day. And in the end, it was like, I have to send out the invoice. I have to send out the estimates. And I'm like, I could do these things. Just show me the way that you'd like it to be done. And I could get it done. And he's like, okay, I'm giving you a chance. And it started off just answering his emails, then making sure I do the schedule for his employees at first, making sure that I do payroll, all these things. And then little by little, he started adding in. So the first thing that he added, he's like, do you know how to do an estimate? I'm like, I've never done a construction estimate, but if you show me, I could get it done. And he showed me that one time and we did it. And the architect was like, great. The architect said, I know it wasn't you that did that. He's like, no, I have help now.
We got it on time. It was finished.
On time, yes.
Done.
Everything where it needed to be. And then this well detailed email. And he's like, I know that was definitely not you.
Yes, you got some pretty detailed emails. I can vouch for that.
Yep. So he started off with that, and then the next thing, he started introducing me to his clients. Because again, when you're on the field, certain places you may not have like cell phone signals or whatnot.
Wow.
So if they need a response like right now, he wasn't able to do that. And then it started joining like Zoom meetings and phone calls where I would like take notes of the things that they want and I would review it and put it into the schedule. And he just kept giving me more and more and more. And I'm like, okay, I could package this into something and I could offer it to other people. So in a sense, we were both each other's guinea pig. And
that's your stepping stone client.
Yes,
definitely. The stepping stone client. Yeah, we always
he sure was my stepping
stone. You meet each other exactly where you both are, and it's magical.
And I still have that client. Now it's 7 years into this, and I still have that client. And I would say he is one of my biggest cheerleaders when it comes to like enhancing my skills and giving me more things to do, like challenging me and things like that. I would say he's the one that's like, girl, I know you got this. Hey, try to figure this thing out.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so, so important. And is he also the one that referred, because I know you have a few other clients on your roster. Like how did you find the new, because are they all contractor clients?
All contractors.
Yeah. So where did the
word
new ones?
Of mouth.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, word of mouth. That's great. How I've gotten majority of my clients are word of mouth right now.
Big part of what we've been working on together in our coaching is your team growth.
Yes.
Because I'm like, when you have a business that's banging like Sandy's is, and you've got clients that are literally lining up and you're having to broach the opportunity now to hand stuff off of your plate. What does your business look like now? Because it's not just you anymore.
No, it's not just me anymore. So my business now, I have an operations manager and I
your own OBM.
Yeah, I'm the OBM on the team. And I have my operations manager and I have 2 VAs. I also, because of the construction side of it, I also like to keep the financials. So I also have a bookkeeper as well.
Right. Yes, because you came from that bookkeeping world.
Right.
So kind of kept
so that's a plus when you approach clients and they have the operational side of things. But in construction, you always have to keep money involved. And it's not just my client's money, it's their client's money as well. So you need someone to manage that. And they appreciate having it all in-house. So outside of the operational and the project management side, there's also the financial side of it as well.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so my team, amazing. I can't complain. Like I now see my first client, how he felt and like the sigh of relief. I now have that feeling like, yes, I could conquer the world because I have a great team behind me.
I love that. It's like magic to my ears because as someone who myself very much was like, I'm going to be a solo OBM forever for a very long time. And then I think when, naturally life changes, I had more children and I was like, you know what? Maybe this solopreneur thing isn't all tapped out to be. And maybe I'm not as good at everything like I think I am.
Yes.
Is most of your team based in the Virgin Islands or are they all over the place?
My team all over the place. So I have majority of them is in the States, but my operations manager is actually in China.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I love that because of the time, the 12-hour time difference from us. So something when I'm asleep, she's awake and she's doing things so that by the time 8 o'clock in the morning come and I'm looking at things.
And so I love that because that actually answers that question of like, well, what if I'm not in the same time zone as my client?
No, it will get done.
It will just get done while you're sleeping.
So, right, exactly.
I don't think it's necessarily off-putting for clients. It's actually, for some clients, it's great. Like I was always working with the Australian clients, so they would go to bed and I would like pipe up. so we could get as much done. How have things looked from VA to OBM? Like, where are you at now? If you want to even share some of like the financials of how your business has changed, maybe even since you have a team, what that looks like. I think anything that you can speak to of like the sort of financial change since being in OBM school.
Okay, so in terms of the financial change,
Yeah.
I would say now I'm more confident
Yes.
in my offers and the way I have everything structured. I don't have like that pit in my stomach of, I wonder if this client will accept this offer. I know the skills I have. I know what I'm bringing and how I could enhance their company and also make them more money. That I would say from doing VA work to OBM work, there's a vast difference, like in the potential of making more money.
Right. I know that you have a team now. I know because you've just recently graduated, so I've been quite keen on your journey all along, and I know some of the leaps that you made. I would love if you could kind of give us a glimpse into what financially things look like for you even from last year to now.
So from last year to now, after going through the OBM school program, I would say I've made more money compared to my Q1 of 2023 to 2024. I am way ahead now.
Like double?
Yes, definitely double. When I go in now with new clients, I start my rates at 3,000 US dollars.
Right.
And I've been able to gain more clients, and that's just the starting rate. That's not what everybody's offered. Depending on the size of the company and the projects, it's even more than that. So I've been able to double that in my first quarter compared to last year's.
Wow.
And with my team, I definitely encourage having a team because it gives you the opportunity as well to grow the same way you're trying to grow your client's company. It gives you the opportunity to be able to get more clients. And with the skill sets that I have right now from OBM school, definitely I'm making more money for sure.
Yeah, you feel confident.
Since OBM school, I've had 2 additional clients, and I have 2 clients in the pipeline.
Nice. That's amazing. A new team. I know that's been something we've been chatting about this whole
Yes. So definitely my team they're everything to me. Like they're amazing. They make my workload easier, and it just the same way how I am that team member for my client, that's the support that they also give me. Allows me to be able to breathe and not do it all solo anymore.
I know. Yeah, we're so used to doing all the things. But tell me more about what it really means to offer managerial services, because I don't think people really understand that when you put yourself in a position where and you've mentioned this a lot today, you're like taking things off of your client's plate, and them in turn, they can go and they can do other things, like specifically around the clients, and I know that this is something that my husband, who's a contractor, complains about. He's like, it's the client touch, it's being able to communicate. It's that extra little bit that gives him peace of mind because he knows that the client is being really taken care of.
Yeah.
For those people, if you could even imagine yourself maybe 5 or 7 years ago, like what would you have told Sandy, the VA?
I would say definitely it was scary jumping into the online world. And even if you're coming from corporate to online, definitely do it. If that's something that you're passionate about, do it. The skills that you've learned, not just in your corporate job, but in life, it all comes full circle when this is what you want to do. You're passionate about it. I would highly recommend it. There are so many opportunities in being an OBM. What I like to say to my team is that we are now from VA to OBM, we are at the executive table. And it's not your clients come to you for advice, whereas as a VA, you may not really get that. But now your opinion matters, where when you tell them, they come with this problem and you're there to solve it, and you come up with this plan and they're like, whoa, I would have never thought of that. Like, that gives me satisfaction to know that they appreciate the work that I do. And just to see, especially in the construction industry for me, it's not just seeing the satisfaction of my client, but also their clients and how I played a part in that. So for me, I would highly, highly recommend anybody that wants to take the jump to being an OBM, definitely do it. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's such a, for a lot of people, it's such a natural next step because it, like you're saying, I think the money is part of it, right? Would you
Yes.
say that you're making like double or triple what you made when you were a VA?
More than triple.
More than triple.
More than
So
triple.
you've more than tripled your revenue.
Yes.
You have a team. I really want to highlight this because I think, I always say that financially, we need to be able to put food on our table. We want to take care of our families. But the thing that keeps you there is that satisfaction that you get from, the work that you do, from being challenged, from developing a deep sense of confidence for the things that you do. And I think that in today's interview, Sandy, you've so clearly highlighted that, yes, well, financially, it's great. You definitely get paid well as an OBM. You've made this work for you. But more than that, it's like, I feel so good about what I'm doing. I feel great about growing my team. I feel great about the role model that I'm being to my kids. And also, being able to fill my dream of that freedom, flexibility, and meaning. And I know that in our conversations, you've told me a lot about, being able to travel with your husband when he goes to his events. Like, how has that really manifested for you throughout this career that you're developing?
For me, it has. I would say, like, my benefits in it as being an OBM, it's traveling, having my kids experience a world that I did not have the opportunity to experience when I was younger, and still be able to fulfill my obligations of being in the professional world. And for me, it's not just showing up for my family and my clients, it's showing up for myself and taking that time to nurture myself as well. And I would say it gives me the freedom to be able to do that. Gives me the time to show up better for my kids, be a better mom. I'm so much more happier than before.
That's huge. That is like, that's like
Yeah.
music to my ears because I think that's what it's all about, right? Like, it's about having that happy work-life balance where you feel you are getting paid well, you are rewarded for the work that you do, you continue to evolve, your clients continue to push you to evolve, and you grow this amazing team that can support you when you want to go and travel and, do the things that require some like time away from your desk.
Right. And actually be present. Like, one of my major things, it's being present in the now. Before it was just go, go, go. And especially for me, commuting every single day.
I know you were telling me that. What was your commute before?
Well, I've been commuting for so many years, but it's like different islands. So in the Virgin Islands, there are three of them for the US Virgin Islands that we're on. But the closest two are St. Thomas and St. John. So I live on St. Thomas, worked on St. John, and I have to commute every day, whether it's by the people ferry or going on the car ferry. And I would have to do that every day. And now that's my choice if I want to do that today.
If you feel like you want to get out of the house a little bit.
Right.
I got that too. I was like, maybe today I'll leave. Oh, no, maybe tomorrow.
The feeling of I'm surrounded by water and all these beautiful beaches and everybody's coming.
Even like paradise.
Right. And not being able to enjoy it. Because after work, after commuting, you get home and it's 6 o'clock. I don't want to go at the beach at 6 o'clock when it's dark. And on the weekends, I'm too tired.
Right.
Now, I could get up and go right now.
Right.
Because I schedule that time in, like my baby yesterday, she's like, oh, mommy, beach, let's go to the beach. And I'm like, okay, we should do that.
How old is she now?
2.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah, I'm running my world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's her world. I'm just living in it.
That's good. So she wanted to go to the beach and you're like, sure, sweetheart.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. I could rest everything down and take that time and not have that worry of I have all these things to do. So while I'm at the beach, I'm thinking, okay, I have this, I have that. No, I could actually relax and enjoy that time with my kids and my family.
That's because you have the right systems in place, you have the right team in place, you have
Exactly.
the right clients in place, and you
Yeah.
know what you have to offer and you know your worth.
Right.
Oh,
And the way I run my company, I run it the same way I run my client's company. You have to have systems and processes in place. And that's what I do. And it works great for them and it works great for me.
I love that. Sandy, it has been so inspiring to speak with you today. I think for anyone who's listening, thinking, can I do this from my geographical region in the world? Can I do this from, my circumstances? Can I do this when I'm still in my corporate job? I think today's interview really showed that, where there's a will, there really is a way. And I think that it was also, in your case, Sandy, I want to say almost natural. Like you naturally, no, it wasn't natural because you definitely took the
Went through
bull
the
by the
different
horn and
steps.
you made
Yes.
things work in a certain way. And you actively chose to, I guess, sort of like work outside the fold, because I would imagine that, like most places in this world, not everybody knows what a virtual assistant is. Not everybody knows what an OBM is. Certainly where I live, they don't. But like I would imagine where it's the same where you live. Do
Right.
people
And
know these?
for me, it's the way that I approach clients with it. It's a lot of times, especially when you have local clients and you say, oh, I'm an OBM. What's an OBM? And I said, online business manager. And they're like, oh, so you do everything online? I'm like, no, I could assist. I don't have to come to your office. So you actually save money by having me on your team, because I have my own office. You don't have to pay insurance for me. You don't have to pay additional taxes for me. All these things you get to save on, and I have my team. So I pay my team to assist you as well. And I come with a full operational background and I know what I'm doing and I can assist you with that.
That's
So
amazing.
by hiring me, you get to save money at the same time.
Hence why they are falling over themselves to work. Because are you fully full right now, or you are looking to take on new clients?
I am looking to take on new clients because I'm building my agency. So I'm taking on new clients.
And are you staying in the contracting sphere of things, or are you expanding to serve other clientele? For those of you listening who maybe want to work with Sandy.
Yes, so I am expanding not just in the construction industry. So I'm creating an operations management team, an agency where I bring in my team and we get to, on the back end, do everything operational for you. So whether that's project management, team management, all those things come in as well. So that's what I'm on the verge of doing.
I love that. I think that's such a wonderful next step. And Sandy, if you have one word of wisdom or something to share with that person sitting in their corporate job, that VA wondering if they can make their transition to OBM, just that regular person who's like, you know what, I want more for myself. Maybe this OBM thing could work for me. What would you tell them?
I would say definitely go for it. The best person to bet on is always yourself,
Amen.
because you will hold yourself accountable. At the end of the day, it's up to you if you decide you're making it. And where we all can make it, there is enough for everybody. So definitely take that leap.
There are a lot of these clients who need help, that's for sure.
Yes. For sure. And what I like with the OBM school, it is a community. It's some place where you can come and be your most vulnerable self and get the assistance that you need. Like, everybody on your team, Sarah, is amazing. Like, I cannot rave anymore. Like, I would say that has been the best experience in taking any online course. That was the best experience I ever had, to be honest. Like, the way that you structure the whole school, and even to this day, like, even we're graduated and everything, but we're still keeping in contact with each other in our accountability board. And like, that's everything to me, like the community that you create, it lasts forever. Like
Yes.
you
For
make
better or
really
worse.
good friends.
I know it's one of those beautiful byproducts that because I feel like a lot of us are very like lone wolfish. Like I would, I mean, I haven't always, but I feel like for a lot of our students inside of those accountability pods that we set up, they do meet their business besties and they meet a community of women and men and people that really hold each other accountable and raise each other up with like
Yes,
love and confidence. And, I'd like to say that I play some part in that, but I just feel
you
like
do.
OBMs in general are kind of people, we're very like back end research oriented,
Yeah,
behind the scenes, like, no bullshit, just want to get things done, want to put food on our table for our families and like have a good life. Like, I'm like, we're all just like good people. That's what this is. So
exactly.
like attracts like, and I just feel like our community has really blossomed because we have all of these magical, magnificent, solid online business managers who are really, heart of service people
Yes,
and want to
definitely.
help other people. And I think that is such a key distinction in our community. That's one that I am, cannot say I'm responsible for, but I'm definitely proud of and align myself closely to. And Sandy, you are a shining example. You are somebody that I always bring up. And I'm like, Sandy's dealing with these guys. She's killing it. She's making great money. She's telling them like it is. That's what they need. Because, people are like, well, I don't know because I have all this offline experience. I'm like, an OBM doesn't need to work with only online businesses. That's the
Exactly.
absolute beauty of this is that the majority of my clients aren't even,
And
and I
next
as well.
misconception I would say is that a lot of people feel like they need to have all the tech skills, like you need to know all the platforms. I did not know majority of the platforms that I know now, and it's because of the community. Because that was one of my major things, though, that I was nervous about. When you think of the online space, it's that you need to know all of these platforms. And I've come to realize they may have different names, but they're kind of similar. And there is a way for you to learn what you need to learn. So I would say, even with that, like somebody new coming into the VA world or OBM world, don't worry about the different platforms. You will
Mhm.
get there. They're very similar, and you don't need to know all. You just
Right.
need to know what you need to know then. And the clients give you grace on that as well. Yes, it may seem like, yes, I need this right now, but you could schedule that time in and learn the things that you need to learn. And for me, I don't know most of them, but I come in and I'm very upfront. I may know a little bit about it, and I'm going to do the rest of my research. And the next time we speak, I will be on ball with everything that you need pertaining to that platform. So don't make the platform scare you.
Right.
I would say that was one of my biggest things where I lacked confidence
Mm.
was the different platforms, and you hear so many of them, and the language, the online language, you will learn it. You
Yeah,
will.
it's very stressful because there are like we just had this interview and like 10 new SaaS softwares came on the market. There's, I mean, I've been in this business for more than 15 years and I'm like, don't know like 90% of that person's tech stack, never used any of that software before. But everything there's just so many tutorials and so many resources because these companies want you to use their tools. Everything is like drag and drop. I'm like, when I started off, we were really learning HTML, like banana.
And see how far that's from now.
I
So
know it's like
that's
useless skills. So yeah, I think that's a big one for a lot of people. They freak out about the tech. I think when you make peace with the fact that you might not know all of these softwares, but you can
right.
sure as hell learn them with some
Learn them.
tutorials and a little bit of, just getting down and dirty into what it is, then you
Mhm.
realize that, oh, this is just not that complicated. And in fact, it's very similar to this other CRM slash other email marketing slash other graphic design program that I've used. It's
Right.
so important and Sandy, thank you for highlighting the fact that this is very intimidating for a lot of people. And it's not, it's definitely something that we all face and we deal with. But in the end, we come
For
out better and
sure.
we all learn this tech at the end of
Yeah,
the day. And
yeah,
in the end, you know it better than
definitely.
your client. Sandy, it's been such a pleasure chatting with you. I know that anyone listening here would be like, Sandy is my OBM, or I want to be like Sandy. How can they learn more about you? Where can they find you online?
Well, on the social media platforms, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and it's all at Colliance OBM, and also on my website, colliancevi.com.
So we're definitely going to leave all of those links in the show notes and below this video so you guys can check out Sandy because she's a fantastic OBM. I've seen her projects. I've worked closely with her. It has been such a pleasure to seeing you evolve as a human being and as a business owner, Sandy. And I just cannot wait to see what's next for you. And I hope that maybe next year we'll do another catch up with another day in a life to see again how
Yes.
your business has changed.